Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to LinkedIn Tuesday. It's June 17th, 2025. Please note this event is being recorded. The recording will be on the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. For everybody who's on Zoom, please feel free to put in your name, the position you're looking for, a couple target companies, put in your contact information. Reach out to everybody else who's on the call today. It's a great way to expand your connections. Well, normally we've got 4 great speakers who talk about LinkedIn. They rotate through on a monthly basis. Today, our speaker is actually on vacation. So I'm going to fill in and I'm going to talk about LinkedIn, present yourself like a pro. So let me flip presentations here. And so a little bit about my background. I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group since 2007. The group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. We've got a great speaker coming up this Friday, and I'll tell you about it at the end of this session. In 2012, I created CareerDFW.org, a website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or I always have copies with me. In 2012, I was invited to go to the White House Forum on Job Clubs and Career Ministries. It was a great one-day event up in Washington, D.C. We were in the executive office building right next to the White House. There was 110 people there from all over the United States talking about what they do to help job seekers around the United States. And it was really fascinating to be there. And I was very lucky. I was the only representative from Texas to be there. In 2012, after that, I came back. I had to rebuild the Career DFW site. So we started CareerUSA.org to help those unemployed around the United States. All the generic stuff that used to be on Career DFW just got slid over to CareerUSA.org. And since March 2020, we've put on over 760 free career workshops like this: LinkedIn, interviewing, effective resumes, and networking. So first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the 3 different types of recruiters. If you heard Kurt last week talk about it, it's the same kind of thing, but I just think it's really important to go over those so everybody can understand who you're dealing with when somebody calls you on the phone. So the 3 kinds of recruiters are an in-house recruiter, an outside contingency recruiting firm, or an outside retained search consultant. So an in-house recruiter, that'd be somebody maybe like from AT&T, and they're responsible for handling workers out in the field, or they're responsible for handling in-office staff in the offices, in the sales offices that AT&T have. They could be handling 30, 40, or 50 job applications at a time, or job descriptions at a time. They're usually very, very, very busy. They're sort of based on how many people they can get hired to fill slots for a company. Most of them rely on the applicant tracking system. So that's why it's important for you to fill out the company's ATS system when you see that job. An outside contingent recruiting firm goes when a company wants to hire somebody, but they don't have the hiring staff. So they hire the job out. They may send it to 2 or 3 firms. And it's the only person who gets paid is the one who lands that job. My last job, full-time job I had, came through a recruiting firm. And the company that hired me had to pay 25% of my first year's salary to the recruiting firm that found me, who placed me in that job. So only the firm that gets the placement can get paid. It is a good chance that you may be contacted if your LinkedIn profile is really complete. could be contacted from 2 or 3 different recruiting firms for the same exact job. So it's important to know that you don't want to be represented. You don't want to be represented by multiple firms going into one company. And then the third type, an out-time retained research consultant, is somebody like Kurt Vonnemutter, who a company only hires one firm, only hires his firm. He has a very good relationship with the employer because he dives in and asks those questions. Well, what are you exactly looking for? What are your pitfalls? What do you need help with? And then he will go and find those candidates and submit those candidates to him. He gets paid an upfront retainer fee, and then he gets a balance upon placement of the job. So there's 3 different kind of recruiters. When somebody calls you up, and if you're not sure who they are, ask, because it'll make a big difference if they're an in-house or an outside contingency recruiter. Okay, so what am I going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about the tip of the iceberg. LinkedIn is so involved. There's so many things going on. We had hours and hours we could do it, but we're going to just talk about the things that hopefully will help you in your job search and help you get going here. All right, so the goal on LinkedIn is to set up a welcoming email LinkedIn profile for recruiters. Something that's easy to read. It's got a good picture of you on it. It's got a background that tells somebody what you do and how you can help. And maybe you can include a little bit of personal information. That's debatable. You sort of have to sort of take that with a grain of salt and decide if you want to add a little bit of that or not. So you want to optimize your profile so that LinkedIn search engine can find you. This is just like an applicant tracking system. A recruiter will go and punch in some details, and they're going to ask LinkedIn to show me who fits the bill. LinkedIn calculates your score on a daily basis. It's based on contact and activity. You cannot see your score. There's no way to view it. And LinkedIn will not divulge the point value for any feature or activity. People who are out there searching on LinkedIn or use LinkedIn have figured out that certain fields are more important and will rate higher than other things. So what is this search engine looking for? They're looking for a mutual interest between the recruiter and the candidate. For number 1, are you likely to respond? You should always respond to all recruiters, even if you're not interested. Just reply back to them and say no. LinkedIn is measuring if you're replying to recruiters. LinkedIn is also going to look and see, are you connected to employees in the company that recruiter is coming from? Are you following the company on LinkedIn? When you look at companies, you should follow every company that you're interested in. And do you have the open to work banner on, or do you just have open work in there so you can be found? We'll talk more about the open to work thing in just a second. Relevance to the job being searched. When a recruiter looks for somebody, they're going to put in a job title, one of the thousands of job titles that LinkedIn has created. They don't make up, there's no cheap people person in LinkedIn. It's going to be a director of HR, talent acquisition leader. It's going to be a set job description. So that's why your job descriptions have to match what they're looking for. When you're open to work and looking for a job, be sure to use the jobs that are listed on LinkedIn. And then they're going to put in a couple key skills. So when recruiters looking for somebody using a recruiter package, they put in a job title and a few key skills. They may put in a location. They're looking for somebody in the Detroit area or whatever, and then they'll just see what comes up. If it's too big of a pile, they'll maybe put a little bit more restrictions on it and narrow it down to get it down to maybe 100 profiles so they can go through and look. You want to be an all-star. You want to be, this is one of the important things that LinkedIn is going to measure. You're going to want to have a link, current position, a location, an industry that you're interested in, your summary statement, which is very, very valuable. You want to list at least 5 skills. You can now have up to 100. And the nice thing that LinkedIn did in the last few months is that it added a skill section for each job, which is, I think, much more beneficial than just listing skills at the end of the profile. They're going to want an education. If you haven't completed your education, you can always say, put it in there due to complete, May of 2026 or something. Just let them know that you're working on something. And they want to see a good headshot. You want to be sure to maximize titles. Use the titles that LinkedIn has standardized, very important. So when you go to the open to work section, you can start typing in titles, pick what's there. Don't adapt and try to pick something else, because a recruiter is not going to come up with some other title. They're going to pick a job title that's already on the recruiting package of LinkedIn. You want to have multiple job titles on your headline. So you want to, 3 or 4 job titles. Make sure they are job titles that would be found. You don't want to say you're in project management, you're a project manager, because that's what the job title would be. So be sure to reference your job title as a noun, not as what it would be. And then you want to put additional job titles in experience section. So as you're listing jobs throughout your experience section, if you have a funny job, the first job I had out of college was a electronic audiovisual tech 1. Well, what does that mean to anybody? I was a videographer and editor. So in parentheses, I put I was a videographer and editor because that's a job title that would possibly come up on a job search. So you want to create a great job title, and this is an example of a way to do it. I like to start off with with an adjective. Make me excited about something. Energetic, flexible, tenacious, dynamic. Then add a couple job titles that you find on LinkedIn, and then give us what value do you bring? Well, I specialize in this certain area, or bringing experience by doing X, Y, or Z. So an example here, the very box on the right is a dynamic program manager driving brand awareness through integrated marketing. That tells me what kind of program manager that is, because there's lots of program managers out there. So here you'll see on mine, I put down accomplished, started out with an action word, manufacturing manager, operation manager, general manager. So those are 3 job titles that you find on LinkedIn. I do think better, faster, and smarter. So that's my little saying that try to get people to look at things. And then I talk about that I'm a speaker at career workshops and seminars. Do you have a hard pronounced name? One of the options that LinkedIn has, it allows you to record your name. Now you can only do that if you're using the app on LinkedIn on your phone. You cannot do it from the PC or Mac, but using the phone app, you can record your voice. You can put a 10-second message there. So if you have a hard to pronounce name, go ahead and do that, because it will help people out. You can also say, I'm an experienced project manager, call me. Use that 10 seconds for the best that you can to help you out. You have a hard to pronounce name. This Fernando went and spelled out his last name to make it easy. As a recruiter, I'm going to call people that I can pronounce their name. If I cannot, I'm embarrassed if I cannot pronounce your name easily, or to get it out there. So I'm always going to say, Fernando's made it very, very easy for me to do it. You should do the same thing on your resume. If your name is hard to pronounce, put the phonetic spelling there. All right, let's talk about headshots for a second. You need to have a decent headshot. This is a nice close-up of the person, but the problem is the background's too bright and you sort of washed out, so you can't really see it. This is not really a good photo. This is not a good photo for LinkedIn. This would be okay for Facebook. I think you're too far away. I want to see you from shoulders up, because I use LinkedIn when people connect with me or I need to find somebody. I want to be able to see their face, and this is just too far away. This is Gail. Is it Gail him or Gail her? You don't know. Just use a picture of yourself. All right, this guy's open to work. He's put the banner on that, but this photo is way too far away to show him. Obviously, he must be like at an outdoor chess thing. But this is not a good use of that space. I'm okay with black and white photos. Some people aren't, but I'm fine with that. This, I think, is a good photo. You're looking right at the camera. Your shoulders are turned and everything. The only problem I have is this person's shoulders are facing off the screen. Because if you think about it, on LinkedIn, your profile is in the upper right corner. And if you're facing away, you're facing off the screen, not into your profile. Here's a nice photo, nice close-up. She's open to work. And then this is, I think, a very nice photo, and he is facing into his profile, which is, I think, is really, really important. So you want to have a decent photo. We've got on the Career USA YouTube channel a 60-minute presentation all about photos. Who knew they were so involved and how important it is? I've even heard that if you're wearing glasses, your profile your profile will look better if you have glasses on. So you can study and learn more about all those things out there. All right, connections. You need to have over 500 connections. Why? Because if you have 501 connections, it'll say more than 500 connections, and you can have 4,000 connections, but nobody will know the difference. So it's important for you to just get up to that 500 mark. And then after that, it's not as important. You do want to have the connections, but you don't need to push to try to find those connections. Your connections should be mostly people that are in a similar industry or the job function to meet your search goals, because you want to try to connect with other people who do what you do, because they have something and they need somebody with similar skills. You like to add recruiters who happen to work in targeted companies. It's important to build that database. You'll not, for most recruiters, a lot of them are not on LinkedIn. They don't accept a connection request, but if you can find them out there, I would try to connect with them, because it can't hurt. And then you want to add people with job titles that could denote hiring manager status in those targeted companies. So you may not want to, if you can't join with recruiter, maybe you can connect with the recruiting manager, who, if you were to contact the person and said, thanks for the connecting, I saw that you have this job, please pass it along to whoever is who's handling those recruiting connections. I would really appreciate it. You want to optimize your contact information. I can't tell you how many times I've looked to try to find somebody on LinkedIn, and there's no way for me to contact them. Only first-degree connections can see this information when you click on contact information. If you're clicking on somebody who's a second or third-degree connection, all you will see is their LinkedIn connection profile link. That's all you'll see. That's why it's very, very important to stick this information in the About section, because everybody can open up the About section. So in my case, I actually created a banner that tells a story. My banner has a word cloud on it, which is my resume posted into the program that came up with this. It tells people that I've managed production, manufacturing, Texas, employees, the keywords from my resume. I promote my book because that's just what I do since I wrote it. But I have my email address and my phone number right there on my banner. So anybody who sees my profile can reach out and contact me. If you need to create a banner and you don't have a nice one, go to canva.com, canva.com. You need to create a login, but there's no cost for the free version. And just go down to look for LinkedIn banner, and it'll come up with the right size. You can download photos that are in Canva to use if you want to use a banner photo. Use something that sort of tells people who you are. It's much more inviting than just the plain generic LinkedIn banner. All right, the About section. This is an extremely important section. Beside your headline, where you say what your name is and your job titles, that's the most searched field on LinkedIn. To me, this is the second most important area. You've got up to 2,600 characters that you can put in there. You want to write it in first person, just like I'm talking to you to explain to you who I am. Keep your paragraphs to no more than 3 lines. 4 lines is okay, but I would really prefer 3 lines maximum, because when you get 4 more lines, that's a block of text and people tend not to read it. People scan this kind of stuff. Think about somebody reading this in 10 seconds. Okay. Be sure to put your contact information on there. Locke Alderson likes if you put your contact information on the very first line. I'm sort of in favor of putting it down sort of in the middle or bottom of it, because to me, as long as I can reach out to you, remember, a recruiter has a very short memory. They're like a fruit fly. They're here and they're gone. And a recruiter, the first thing they want to do is they find you. They want to pick up the phone and call you. They do not want to use LinkedIn InMail. They do not want to email you. They want to pick up the phone. If you don't want to put your phone number in there, that's fine. Get a Google Voice number and let Google Voice then forward to your cell phone. And the last thing you want to do in the About section is put a bunch of keywords. As I said before, if somebody, when a recruiter is using the Recruiter Lite package, they put in a job title and then they put in some skills. So these are skills that I have here, and then those skills also appear in my work section and the different jobs that I had. It's just a way to make it easier for a recruiter to find me. All right, you want to maximize your skills. You want keywords pertaining in your About section, in your Experience section. If you're not sure what the keywords are, look at a job description. What stands out on the job description? Look at somebody else's profile. Scan their profile, or put in you're looking for a program manager, IT, see what pops up, and look at their profiles. What keywords do they have? If they have a keyword that you've done, be sure to put it on your profile, because keywords are going to help sell you to get that call. Some top skills that employers want to see in 2025. I just looked this up yesterday. Soft skills. They want to see communication skills, problem solving, adaptability, creativity, emotional intelligence. Oop, I misspelled that, sorry. And teamwork. So these are some skills. If you can include any of these words on your profile, that will help. Some of the hard skills that you're looking for: data analytics, digital marketing, project management, and they want to show that they want to see that you're using technology, how you're monitoring and how you're controlling that. So please, just go to Google, type in, top career skills for an IT project manager or whatever, and see what pops up and make sure those skills are on your profile. The skills and endorsement section. The maximum number of skills that is now allowed is 100. I'm really glad they expanded it from 50 to 100. It gives you a lot more use. I recommend that you get 90 to 95, come up with them. Like I said before, you can now pick skills for each job that you have listed on there. That's a great addition. To me, that's much more valuable than the big skills section at the very bottom of your LinkedIn profile. A maximum of 2 or 3 skills are actually showcased on the profile. So if somebody's scanning through the profile, you want to make sure that the top 2 skills that you do are at the top. And how do you do that? You can click on the little pencil, you can edit your skills and just pull up the 2 skills that you want to be shown. You want to make sure your skills have both technical and soft skills. Very, very important. You just don't want to have all technical skills. You want to show you're more well-rounded. You should alphabetize your skills for easier reading, because people will glance down through the list if it's in a long alphabetical list. LinkedIn will categorize your skills into certain sections, and you cannot move from one section to another. You'll have to, whatever comes up in that particular section is all you can do. You also want to have 3 current recommendations from different people from 2023, 2024, 2025. If you have skills from 2015 or 2012, they don't mean much to me anymore. People want to see current skills. So if you've got a current, even if you've got an old recommendation from somebody, maybe contact them and say, hey, would you mind rewriting it? Or, just write the same thing and send it to me so I can have an updated skill. That will make a difference. A couple LinkedIn settings that you should adjust under privacy. I'm sure you've all seen this when you look at other people's profiles. People also viewed. Why do you want to promote other people who do what you do? You want to turn that feature off. So under privacy settings, go to viewers of this profile also viewed and turn that off. So that way people will not see this feature. You want to promote you, not everybody else. Another privacy setting you want to do is share job changes, education changes, and work anniversaries from your profile. If you're going to be editing your profile and adding things, make sure this is turned off. Once you're done, you can turn it back on and it'll announce any anniversary you've got coming up. And you don't want to, every time you add something or change something on your profile, that everybody, all your contacts get, oh, Greg just updated his profile. You may not have done anything except maybe added an extra period or took away a period to keep your profile up to date. This used to be a rule of mine, and it's a shame that LinkedIn has turned it off. Oh, I see Kathy's asking, what was the first one to say that turned off? I'll go back here. Viewers of this profile also viewed.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome. All right. I used to harp on this all the time. If you're going to connect with somebody, you've got to send a personal note. When you send that generic note, I don't connect with those people. I want a personal note to know why I should connect with you and how to do that. Problem is, LinkedIn now is restricted, and I heard last week that they just restricted it down to you can only send 2 invitations a month. If that's the case, that's really sad. But what I recommend you do is go to their profile. If you can find their email address, send them an email message and send them, I'd like to connect with you. I will be sending you a LinkedIn invitation. Please, let's connect. So you're sending them why you're doing it. Once you've connected with that person on LinkedIn, you can then send them a message. Send them a message. Thank you for connecting. I really appreciate it. We met at the LinkedIn Tuesday seminar on June 17th. Hope your job search is going well. Because by doing that, every time you look at somebody's profile, if you're connected to them, you will then be able to know when you first met them. All right. Always send a personal note. That's one of the things I try to harp on. There are two types of connect buttons. So this is for a PC or Mac. This is not for your cell phone, but on a PC or Mac, if you have a white connect button, it will send a generic invitation. What you want to do is click on the person's face and they'll become their profile. And then you should be able to find a blue connect button. When you find a blue connect button, you then should be able to connect with people and send a personal note. On a cell phone, the blue connect button sends a generic message. You want to find the white connect button, and then you want to click on more information. And one of the options it'll give you of the little three dots off to the side will allow you to send a personal note. LinkedIn restricts personal notes per month with the free version. It's a real shame they're doing this. They're just trying to force everybody to pay to use it. So that's why I say, if you want to try to connect with somebody, go to their profile, get their email address, put your email address to make it easy so people can email you and tell you that you want to connect. You want to develop a daily routine on LinkedIn. I think you should be on LinkedIn 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes tops, because what you want to do is you want to clear all the red. You want to get rid of all those little red dots that are up on the header of your LinkedIn profile. By going to the home button, it will allow you to scan through your main system, and you can go through and like and comment on people's comments. Clear out your networks. So my network will show people who've sent you connection requests. Hopefully you've gotten an email from them so you know that how to connect with somebody. Then go through your messages. These are people that you're following. If you're following people on there, that's great. And then any notifications you've got, you can go through and clear those out too. You want to like, comment, or share on 3 to 5 posts a day. So if you go through your main feed, just go through and scan. Terry Sullivan had something he posted yesterday. Today I saw it. I read the whole thing and I liked it. I could have commented or I could share it to other people. But by doing the 3 to 5 posts a day, you're showing LinkedIn you're an active user. Curate 1 or 2 articles per week. Great way to, where do you come up with articles at? Go to feedly.com, feedly.com. It shows you different news feeds, whatever it is you're an expert at. Talk about what you're an expert at, because you can hopefully generate some conversations with somebody if you post an interesting article. And it's the same way with commenting. If you follow somebody and they post something you really like, comment on it, because you have a chance the person who wrote that article will see your comments and know who you are. And then follow company pages. Any company that you're applying to or any company that you're interested in, go through and click on follow the company, because a recruiter, if they're using your recruiting package, will be able to see the following people. Of all the people I searched for, this group of people actually follow the company, so they'll know what we're talking about. Great way to find key contacts and prospects is use a Boolean modifier. Capital AND, capital OR, capital NOT, quotes, I use this all the time when I'm at national conventions and somebody comes up, I'm trying to find them. You know, I'll say, well, give me your name, and I'll type AND in the company, and I can put those two things in there, and usually their profile will come right up. You can see here in the search box, it says recruiter and technology, not oil and gas. And oil and gas is in quotes because it's three different words, and you don't want to just clear out oil only or and only or gas only. So, and you can use these Boolean modifiers on Google, Bing, all search engines, Amazon, whatever you're looking for, you can go and use these. They're very helpful and they really help you get to what you're trying to look for. Check out Career DFW and Career USA. We've got seminars and training that's going on. We've got a career tip of the week. We've got groups that are based around the city and about cities around the United States that may be able to help you. If you want to join the Career USA mailing list, you can do so by just scanning this QR code or just send a blank email to Career USA, the + of scribes.io. If you're ever looking for a speaker, I can talk about resumes, LinkedIn, networking, lots of other subjects. You're free to contact me and I'll see what I can do to help you out. So let me know right now, let me just open it up to questions anybody has. If you have a question, just Jeff, you raised your hand.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I'm sorry, I didn't get that profile setting that you turn off that other people see profiles similar to you. I'm in my settings now and trying to find it. Would you mind displaying that one last time?
All right. It's called viewers of this profile also viewed. Let me share. Let me go with my LinkedIn profile.
Somewhere in the privacy section.
Oh, it's in the privacy section?
I believe so. They keep moving things around. Jeff will know more than I.
Yeah, that's the one thing I hate about LinkedIn. It's every day it's a little bit different. All right, so let's see here.
It's,
I
I
went on to
believe it's
settings and privacy.
settings and then visibility
Yeah,
and who can see.
that's right, Jeanette.
Settings, visibility, and then where?
And then you've got lots of options under there. And let me see, page owners. Let me see which, um, who can see your connection, who can see who can see members you follow, see your last name.
So it's under account preferences? I thought it was under visibility.
Visibility, click on
Oh, okay.
visibility. I just thought I saw it in here. Discovery.
Down at the bottom, visibility of your LinkedIn activity under the visibility under settings. And then
Yeah.
it says share job changes, education changes, work anniversaries. If, as Jeff said, you're going to be doing some toying, even if it's just one word or two, when you do that, as he said, it gives everybody in your notice that you've changed a job, but you didn't. So do you see it, Jeff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got it
but
right
I
here.
thought there was one that said share profiles similar to yours.
Right, right. And I'm trying to, I thought it used to be.
It's the equivalent of advertising for your competition almost. So
Well,
I would prefer not
there's
to do
one,
that.
yeah, there's one that says who can see members you follow, and you can change that to only visible to me.
Yeah, but that's not really it. That's just
Okay.
restricting other people from looking. This, you know, like I said, they keep changing. They move stuff around all the time. Let's see here. I didn't look yesterday when we did this.
Well, they probably changed it this morning.
That's right, Kathy.
Yeah, you know what? I don't see it now.
Yeah, that's what I was struggling with. So I'm glad I'm not crazy.
No, you're not
Yeah, this
crazy.
doesn't prove that.
I know it doesn't. What do they say? Bodies in the basement.
Yeah. So Jeff, I have a question. How do you take the trailing characters off your LinkedIn profile?
Okay. If you may go back to my profile.
I've encountered two people today that have them, and I've suggested they remove them, and they're like, "How do I do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So
Okay, it's right over here. When you're on your profile, public profile on URL, if you click on that little pencil, then you can have edit your customized URL. And you can click on this, and this is where you go and you drop off those extra letters.
thank you.
You you may have to add TX, or you may have to add MBA or something to be able to get on there what you'd like. What else can we answer for somebody?
So we don't have that one ability to turn off profile shown by others.
You know, I'm gonna have to go look it up and see where it went to. I
So no
don't
worries.
know. I'll let y'all know next week.
Thank you.
And I'll do some research this afternoon.
Well, I
Anybody-
didn't mean like that, but I do like that. That's an amazing suggestion, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you don't want to promote everybody else. Anything else we can promote for anybody?
Jeff, let me ask the other Jeff, what is it, the function that you're wanting to have turned on or off?
So you're talking to me, correct? Jeff Barlow or
Yeah.
Jeff Norris? Jeff
Yeah,
Morris. All
no,
right.
not the speaker, but the other one that asked the question. I just want to ask one more time, what is it exactly? Because I think I know, but I didn't want
So
to take,
I'm looking to turn off profiles of similar backgrounds being shown. So in other words, if someone's on your page
Oh.
in the banner, it shows
know, okay.
profiles similar to you.
yeah, the one on the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are Jeff Morris you're saying people, Jeff Morris, that people that follow you or are like you, right?
Correct.
So in the visibility, it's who can see members you follow. Is that going to turn it off? Because I know as you said, LinkedIn changes how they view it, but who can see members you follow? Now that's just people you follow.
Right. That's not going to be what we're talking about here.
Okay, it's turning off anybody second, third level connections that are very similar to you.
Viewers of this profile also viewed.
For
Okay.
me, I mean, I'm like switching industries. So it doesn't behoove me to be shown and compared to people senior to me with
No,
more experience.
Yeah,
So I
I know.
really like that feature.
Yeah, no, and they LinkedIn seems to like it because the recruiter will go to your profile. Oh, look, there's some people over there that look more interesting. That's what recruiters have said. Turn that off. Like the
Yeah.
ones that actually talk on the. So yeah, I don't know. They moved it, as Jeff said. So who knows? It's
Yeah.
there.
All right.
So,
I'll have to
okay.
go on a search function to see if I can find it.
Well, didn't mean to hijack the meeting, y'all, but I'm gonna
No,
try and find
good-
that myself.
You
Good-
didn't. We
good
all want to
question.
know, and now we got Jeff on the trail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for asking the question.
Yes.
Yeah. Good
I
question.
couldn't find it either.
Anybody else? All right, let me see here. If go here, share. If you want to link in with me, you're welcome to do so. Send me a note via email first, and then I'll save your couple notification requests that you can connect with people. That's the best way to do that. So, like I said, I put it out there. People say, won't you get a lot of junk phone calls and stuff? I do not. Yes, during the political season, I'll get phone calls, but not very often. And, I go by the thing is I don't answer my phone unless the person is a contact in my contact folder. So
But we
Um,
can't do that, Jeff. We're looking for a job.
Well, but most of them will leave you a note, will leave you a note. All right, next Tuesday, our presenter will be Terry Sullivan. Talk about how to tell your key contacts who you are, what you do, and how you can help. The session will not be recorded next week. Terry doesn't not allow his presentation to be recorded. So if you want to watch them, please come watch them live next Tuesday at 1. We're planning on training a couple days a week here. Tomorrow, the practice interview team will be meeting in person. They meet in person on the first, second, third, and fifth Wednesday of the month. On the fourth Wednesday of the month, they are online only. So anybody out of the DFW area can watch an interview. This is a great way to practice your interviewing skills. Just come and watch somebody else be interviewed. Do that a couple times before you step up and ask to get the interview. It will make a big difference. The people who do the interviewing, they've all been hiring managers. They've all had to lay people off, so they know what you're going through. Most of them are actually going through the job search themselves, but there are some retired volunteers that come back and help every week. This Friday at the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group, Tony Bashera, who's the president of Babbage and Associates, one of the top recruiting firms in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, will be with us to talk about the top 10 big mistakes of resume writing. Tony sees 100 resumes every week at least, and he will quickly go through and say, this is good, this is what needs to be fixed. So come join Tony this Friday morning at the North Dallas Plano. You can join us in person or on Zoom. If you'd like to join the Career DFW or Career USA LinkedIn groups, you're welcome to join one or both. You do not need to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to join the Career DFW group, but I will look at your profile. And if your profile is not mostly complete, I will reject you, because why are you on LinkedIn if your profile is not mostly complete? This session has been recorded. It will be on the Career USA YouTube channel later this afternoon. Please subscribe to the channel. That way, every time we post a new video, you'll get an alert and you'll find out about the videos that you can go back and watch at your convenience. On the Career USA YouTube channel, every video I post goes into one of 7 different playlists. So click on playlist where you see the green arrow, and then the very bottom, you'll see the different list. Don't click on the video, but click where you see that red arrow and it says view full playlist. And up will come a list of all the different videos that have been recorded in that particular session. As I said before, if you're not receiving emails about our workshops, you're welcome to join the Career USA mailing list. You can just scan this QR code, send a blank email. You don't have to put anything in it. Or you can just send a blank email to Career USA, the + subscribe at groups.io, and you will find out about upcoming sessions we've got going on. You'll never be spammed because I control the list and nobody else can get to it. Career DFW, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I'm a volunteer. Everything I've done over the last 15 years has just been to help you land your next great opportunity. So thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll hope to see you Wednesday at the practice interview team, or Friday at the North Dallas group. Have a good week, everybody.
All right, Jeff,
Thank you,
thank you.
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Appreciate
Good
you.
job.